It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Ringbrother Makeover, and we've got a new Summit vehicle to earn this week as well. This is my Summit guide. Let's go! All right, real quick before we get into it, if you're looking for any of my tunes, go to militiagamingco.com, head to the top, and go to Motorfest Pro Settings. That'll show all of my pro settings for every car that I've tuned, along with some from the community. Let's get into it. So let's start off with the cars. For this Summit bundle, you're looking at the Porsche 959 street car, the Chevrolet Camaro RS Ghost Edition, the Pontiac GTO. Now, you're going to need a few additional vehicles as well. I recommend the 911 RS 2.7 and the Ford Focus in Street 1. That's the 2016 Ford Focus. It's the newer one. Then you're going to need a few for the Feats. For the slalom, you're going to need a boat. I recommend the Proto, and for this one, you're going to need Skilled and Pure as your affixes with a score breaker set. That score breaker set is non-negotiable. If you want a full score on that one, you need score breaker. Then you'll need a drag car for the speed trap, and for that one, you want Pure and Frenetic as your affixes with Nitro Chemist as your set bonus. And then finally, the Cento Dieci with Pure and Extra Pump and Nitro Chemist on that one as well, and you'll be using that for the escape. Or the keys to this Summit are definitely control. Each of these tracks in this Summit really tests your ability to brake and control your car going into turns and across bumps and curbs and shortcuts. So control is huge in this one. Sometimes driving slower or braking earlier on a turn will actually help you take it faster because you're not going to be out of control and hitting the wall. Anyways, let's get into the pro settings and we'll start the events. All right, the first event is called Ringbrother Renewal, and there are a few cuts. This is using the brand new Ringbrother car that you can win from the Summit. There are a few cuts that you're going to want to take and a couple of like noteworthy sections. The first is right up here. Let me fast forward to it. So at this right-hander here, just after 14%, you have to grab the gutter and you're going to want to jump into it a little bit early. Approaching this section, you're going to want to be in 6th gear and use a little bit of your NOS to get up to, 220, somewhere in that range. Anyways, check out how early I jump into the gutter on this. It just helps with this turn tremendously. Shortly after this, though, at 20%, you can cut to the right, use air NOS, continue back onto the road. Now, this is a very important turn. You need to use the gutter on this turn. I did it pretty well on this clip. Not too bad, exited with pretty good speed. Now be patient on this. Don't blow all of your NOS in 4th gear. Try to get yourself to 6th with a lot of NOS so that you can really get up to top speed, which is in the 30s. All right, let's fast forward. Now this is a simple one right here at 48%. You can cut across the grass. Just helps with maintaining speed. I actually didn't cut it enough and I ended up in the grass on the right, but you can do that and go a little faster than I did. Now after this checkpoint at 65%, don't go into the dirt on the right, but you need to cut to the left here and go up this hill. Then head for the top of this rock and try to connect it the best you can with the mini map. You're aiming for the top of that rock, and when you're over this, if you go faster, obviously this is going to be a better cut. But even if you just roll over this hill, it's going to be faster than taking the long way around the mountain. So definitely try to make this happen if you can. Use NOS in the air and just try your best to stay on the road. Air NOS is going to be your friend here. And finally, when you see the finish line here at 92%, make sure you cut to the left of that tree. Definitely helps with keeping up speed on that turn as well. Anyways, let's move on. All right, this next event is called Steel Resurrection. For this one, I recommend using the 911 2.7. Now this one is kind of interesting because it does test your ability to control the car. You really can't full send all of these corners. I'm just going to show you this first lap, and then you can rinse and repeat all of the laps. So on this first one, get in 4th if you can. And I would say you can cut this, but The more grass and the more curbs you hit with the 2.7, it really makes the car uncontrollable. So I actually just kind of stayed on the road here and took it in 4th or 5th. Just depends on how fast you're going. On the first lap, I was in 5th. I think on the laps after that, I was actually in 4th. I downshifted in order to, you know, engine brake a little bit. But control your speed going across here, and then you can accelerate out. Nothing tricky here. Just save a little bit of NOS. So when you get into 5th gear and you make this left-hander, then you can blast it. Downshift and cut to the right of this flag. This is actually an important turn. It's super easy to lose yourself in this turn. There's a lot of bumps. When you come out of it, you hit a road. So it's really easy to lose control of the car. Just try to do your best to float through here. You can actually use a higher gear as well to sort of calm the car down. Then cut to the right on this turn here. And then this is where you're going to want to blast your NOS. Try to get yourself back up to top speed. But slow down for this right-hander. You want to cut through these bricks on the right, close to the house. And then just continue on. And on the next laps, you're going to try to aim for the 2 holes that you made in those brick walls. Now this corner actually sneaks up on you. It's a very sharp corner. I was taking it in 3rd gear. I recommend taking it as close to this this building here with the ice cream on it. I think that's an ice cream. Anyways, you want to take it very close to this building. You can also just use the gutter. There's 2 ways to do it, but if you take it close to the building, it seems like it's just slightly faster. So real close to the building, and then you can accelerate out. Anyways, that's the lap. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called Porsche 959 Reimagined. And for this one, I'm just going to show you my 3rd lap. There's a few different little cuts and a reset in this one as well. So let's take a look. So here we are at the beginning. Downshift to 3rd. You can cut this to the right and to the right of that flag. Now this one, I don't know if I did this well on this lap or not. That's not too bad. Cut to the right of that flag. Again, controlling your speed is really important on both of those turns. Go too fast and you're out of the, you're out of the line. Now this one, you really need to get close to that airplane. I don't know if you guys caught that. I was still talking about the last thing, but basically you want to get as close to this as possible. So to the left of the flag, and you can keep a lot of speed. And when you get out of here, go ahead and blast your NOS, get into 6th. Now for this turn, this is kind of a tricky turn because you're kind of going full speed and it's a really hard right-hander. Use this wall to slow you down. So just kind of go full speed into it. And I would downshift just before getting here twice. So you're in 4th, and then you probably have to downshift one more time. Let's see if I went to 3rd here. Yeah, 3rd. Go into 3rd right before that turn. So you're using the wall to slow down a little bit, then get into 3rd. Cut to the left of this checkpoint here. Go straight across, and then behind this building and reset at the flag, going the opposite direction. Now for this one, I kept it in 4th because the car has decent NOS power, and it's easy to control it over those bumps, and then you can NOS to the finish line. Just rinse and repeat that every single lap. All right, the next one is called Projekt Rekall, and for this one, I recommend using the Ford Focus, the Street One Ford Focus RS. Now, the first tip I have for you, first of all, I'm going to be showing you my 3rd lap, but on this straightaway, you should be hitting 190 miles an hour. 193 is very specific, but 190 miles per hour at least on this straight. Now the car is not going to hold that. Definitely get there. Notice I still have even half a bottle of NOS. I haven't even hit the bottom half of the NOS yet, and I'm already at top speed. So try to get to 190 on this straight before you get to the finish line. If you're doing that, you know that you have lots of speed going into the next lap, and you're doing it correctly. Anyways, let's get started. So there is going to be a little cut and a reset here on the first part of the lap. So right here, you're basically going to aim for the right side of these 2 trees. You need to get close to this checkpoint flag, otherwise it will not give it to you. There's a red pole here that I knocked out of the way on the first lap. Make sure you hit that. That's just like your goal, your guiding star, whatever you want to call it. You're going to hit that pole and go straight towards this checkpoint. Press the reset slightly early so that the car resets once you pass it, and be turning to the left once you are exiting it. On this turn, I like to stay in 5th across the grass, then downshift to 4th to accelerate out of it. On this one, again, 5th. I like to keep it in 5th on that one the whole time because you can NOS out of that. This is important for speed as well. You can upshift early into 6th on that turn and get up to 183. This is almost top speed on a very short straight. It's important. It saves you a lot of time. It's very like small, but makes a big difference. Immediately though, you're gonna downshift in under this bridge is sort of the downshift zone. So brake heavy and downshift into 3rd. If you're an automatic, just brake heavy and cut to this, like really close to this tree. This particular lap, I didn't do it super well. I drifted a little bit too much. In fact, let me go to lap 2 because I did it really well on lap 2. Yeah, perfect. So get one set of wheels in the grass and then, close to the tree if you can. All right, back to lap 3. So anyways, I drifted it, lost a lot of speed there. Had to go around Gary, which didn't really help me out. Anyways, you're gonna wanna blast your NOS on this straight, get back up to top speed. And then you can downshift once, brake, and take this corner. Little wall taps on that corner, not too big of a deal. On this corner, you're looking for this flat spot between this pole and the grass. If you can go on that flat spot, the car won't hop very much. If you go too much to the right, the car will hop. You'll end up in the wall. If you go too much to the left, you'll hit the pole and you're gonna slow down anyway. So you wanna aim right between the grass and this pole. It's a very small window to hit, but if you can do it, it's the fastest way to take the corner. On that one, I did it perfectly. Now on this corner, I just kind of take it normally. It's a weird corner. You might be tempted to go inside on the curb there. It's kind of risky because if you fall out, you're gonna be in a really bad position for the next coming turn. So anyways, that's it for that lap. Rinse and repeat. All right, the next event is called Pontiac GTO Revival. I don't know why I said Pontiac that way. Pontiac. Anyway, Pontiac GTO Revival. And for this one, I'm going to show you my second lap. So the first thing is on that main straight. Again, you want to use most of your NOS or at least half of it to get up to top speed. The first little cut, and this is a little one, you can decide not to take this, is to the left. I actually took it a lot closer on the first lap and I didn't really like the line that it gave me. So I went a little bit wide on the first part of the turn and then cut it back in on the second part of the turn. Gave me a little bit more speed coming out of it. Anyways, when you get into 4th, you can use some NOS here to get up to top speed. Downshift and brake. Heavy because this is a very sharp turn. Get as close to that block wall as possible. Cut both of those corners. And then basically you're kind of free to accelerate and use NOS. Just don't use all of it because you're going to want some on this jump. Now on this jump, I line myself up with this set of arrows here, the tip of this inner set of arrows, the left side of it, and then kind of point myself to the right. I didn't point myself enough on that one, so I had to do it in the air, which caused me to drift. On the first lap, I did it a little bit cleaner than that. But you can use NOS to get yourself right back up to speed. Now on this corner, you're going to want to cut it to the right because it gives you a much wider angle for the left-hand turn. You can get really close to this wall on the right side and then go left, across the corner. You've got a big open area right afterwards. Now, right after that, you're going to be cutting to the left. You're not going to take this super sharp corner. You can see by the mini map, it's just really sharp. It takes forever to go around that corner. So you're going to cut to the left and then you'll reset when you hit this building over here. You have to be like basically up against this building before you reset. Otherwise, it'll put you back on the corner before the turn. So reset there, and then you'll be on the straight. You'll be good to go. Now, this car has really, really good NOS power, so don't waste a ton of NOS before this jump. But then when you get to it, just blast it. You can see I'm getting up above 200 miles per hour there. Now, on this corner, I like to stay in 4th because you're going to go over this curb, and 4th gear definitely settles the car down a little bit. I just brake a little bit and then sort of let off the gas and coast through it. And then get back on the gas once I've made the turn. And then of course it's a NOS to the finish line. And that's it for this one. All right, the next event is called Chevrolet Camaro RS Rebirth. And this one you're using the Ghost Edition. So there's a couple of different cuts that you're gonna want. on this one, but the majority of your time is going to be made up by your ability to take a gutter turn. And it starts with this first one. Now, I did it okay on this one. I got really close to the block walls. You don't want to hit the block walls. They slow you down way too much. Let's fast forward to the first little cut or reset. And it happens here at 22%. Across the grass, reset at the checkpoint. You make sure you have to get the checkpoint in order to make that one. Then a gutter turn around here. And going down this hill, it's going to be all gutter turns. Let me fast forward. Basically, every corner here going down the hill is going to be a gutter turn. Now, I think I missed this second one. It wasn't this one. I did this one okay. This one right here, not great. I just missed it completely. Just get into the gutter a little bit earlier and coast around it. Then accelerate a little bit towards the end of that. But basically, gutter turns, super important there. And lastly, when you're coming out of this tunnel, you want to grab this gutter as well. It'll help you maintain speed around that corner without hitting that bridge. I mean, without hitting that wall. And then if you dip your wheels into the dirt a little bit on that right-hander, that'll help as well. So that's pretty much it. Everything else is just staying on the track and getting to the finish line. All right, here are the feats. I'm going to go ahead and let my full runs play out, but just note the slalom is better backwards. The speed trap is also better backwards, and the escape is also better backwards. So just pay attention to the routes that I take. The escape route that I took actually can be done better. I messed up the cut across the trees, but if you can do it without hitting a tree and you can stay on the road, you can get a lot of distance on that route. Anyways, enjoy that, and then we'll be back with the final scores. All right, here are my final scores. DM me with any questions. My DMs are open for everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helps. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.